Hello, everybody, and welcome to our game of For the Queers. I'm so excited. Thank you all so much for joining us today for what is our, if you weren't already aware, our 1 year anniversary of this exact cast playing For the Queen last year. And when I say exact 1 year anniversary, I do mean exact 1 year anniversary because I'm gay and I made sure that we played on on that day. So thank you all so much for joining us today. Before I start talking about what exactly we're going to be doing here today, I just want to give everybody a chance to introduce themselves. So Val, why don't you start?
I would love to start. Thank you. Hi everyone, I'm Valiant Dorian. I see him his pronouns. You can find me on the internet at Valiant Dorian or at Also Spirit Bear. Please enjoy that lovely treasure hunt I just sent you on. I'm a Twitch variety streamer and an actual play performer. Who would I guess? And I'm going to pass instructions over to C.
Well, hi everyone. My name is C. I use they, them pronouns. I am a digital artist, tabletop streamer, and dramaturg, wearer of many hats. You can find me making very trans, very gay art on the internet at Pi Sharp Art. Come check me out. I'm in a lot of things, and I'm so happy to be here on our friendiversary. So I'm ready to be gay, cause trouble, and I will pass things over to CJ. Oh, I will not pass things over to CJ. I will pass things over to whoever goes next.
Pen.
Pen.
Hi, I'm +1 Pen of Smiting, and I am your cartoon bard. I do TTRPG streams, GMing, one-on-one experiences, and also game design. I love being here, and I can't wait to share For the Queers. Now I'm passing it over. Do I do it to Hamnah?
CJ, go.
I guess it's me now. Hi everyone, I'm CJ. I am a game designer, a professional gay person, and I do a lot of things on the internet. If you like me or like anything that I do, you can find me on Twitter at Scholastic Dragon. Scholastic like the book fair and dragon like the mythical creature, but drop the O. If you don't know what the Scholastic book fair is, I can't help you. I am the creator of this game, For the Queers. It is very specifically a For the Queen, a descended from the Queen game that focuses on developing queer relationship dynamics. We all will be playing as a group in a war-torn land. Among us is someone being of royalty, a radiant figure free of gender, and each one of us love them. They are the Queen. And you will watch us be very gay, very silly, very intense. All of these things and above on our beautiful 1 year anniversary. If you like this game, buy it, please. I'm so broke. Passing it to someone that's not me.
That's me. I'm the only person left. Look, this is the chaos that you all signed up for, so welcome. This is the energy for today. And last but not least, I am Hamnah. I use any and all pronouns, and I am a TTRPG performer. If you like queer disasters who make bad decisions, that's literally all of my characters. So follow me on Twitter at @shahid_, where I will talk about all of the different projects that I'm a part of. And with that, I will introduce us into our game. Just so everybody knows, content warnings for our game include romance, flirting, references to sex, complicated relationships, blades and weapons, and descriptions of food. If at any point any of that content makes you uncomfortable, please feel free to step away. That's okay. We love you. Take care of yourself first and foremost. And with that being said, however, our game is actually a charity game, just like last year. We will be raising money for the LGBTQ Freedom Fund, which is a US-based organization that pays, oh my God, words, bail and immigration bonds for queer individuals in the States. So if you would like to help us fundraise for this very lovely organization, feel free to donate using our Tiltify link. And in order to do so, you will also be helping add so much chaos to this game. So much chaos. For every $10 donation, a random player, one of us here, will be given a spicy question from a separate deck that we have pulled out from the original questions. And for every $15 donation, you can direct a spicy question to a particular player. Just make sure to note in your donation who you want that question to go towards, and we'll make sure it gets to them. And this is my favorite part. For every $20 donation, we will give a random player a chance to ask another player a question that is off deck. That's right. PvP is enabled for this game. We will use this to cause harm to each other. So every $20 donation, you can give us power to go beyond what CJ has written for us. So donate, because it'll be great. Okay. And with that, I am going to pass it off to our lovely GM and facilitator for today. Pen, take us away.
Thank you. I am so pleased to be able to do this today. And we even have the game's creator. Today, we are going to be playing for the queers. And we are going to be going around. I'll be asking questions to each member. They will be answering, and it will create our world, our queen, and each other. And at the end of this game, we're going to take a break. Then we're going to come back, reassemble, and play an entirely new game where everything will change. So don't worry if you missed the first one. Come in for the second one and donate and watch the fun fly. So, are we ready to start?
Yes.
Perfect. And it begins. So, I'm going to start with Val. Val,
Oh,
are you ready for your first question?
always.
Always. Your first question is 5 spades.
I like the spades usually. Will they be kind to me today?
They will be, we shall see. How do you deal with your jealousy? What keeps you feeling secure in your relationships?
The easiest answer is I do not deal with my jealousy. I bury it deep within me. I temper it like knife to flame. Those who are the eye and ire upon my jealousy, just pray that my temper and blade do not fly out together.
So you feel secure in your relationships by holding it in.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. You know, we're going to keep our eye on today. Hamnah, are you ready for your first question?
I am, I think.
You've chosen the 5 of diamonds. What obstacles make your relationship with the queen so complex? How do you navigate them?
I think what makes my relationship with the queen so complex is that it's not actually even clear what our relationship is. I think that on both sides, there's a lack of proper communication around any of what we say, any of what we do together, and neither of us has, at this point, bothered to clarify at all. I think perhaps because they are the queen, they don't feel the need to. But for me, I'm honestly just afraid of the answer, I think. I like
Better
living in the
sometimes not to know.
ambiguity. Right? I like living in the ambiguity and the gray of it all, because that doesn't mean no, right?
That is true. Love it. CJ, are you ready for your first question?
Theoretically.
You are still hurt by something the queen did to you. What was it, and what stops you from forgiving them?
It did say she was a girl boss. A while ago, the queen enacted a policy that made it difficult for me to do my job. See, I am the royal beastkeeper. I am the one that tends to the animals, the one that makes sure the wyverns don't get out of place. But the queen has recently given portions of our land away to stave off oncoming invaders. And though I understand it, I cannot sleep at night knowing that I can't do my work as properly as I could before.
So now the fighting is close to our border. where you stay. Understood? C, are you ready for your first question?
No heart emoji.
What does a queen do that lets you know that they love you?
Well, the simple fact that her wyvern knights have not shot me down out of the sky on my own ship, well, she must love me, right? She has to. Otherwise, we'd be mortal enemies, but it doesn't feel like we're mortal enemies, does it? It really, really doesn't. And the fact that she keeps letting me fly around that top spire of her castle in the sky, I know she wants to see me. I just know she does.
Well, they see you every day, right through every window. It's hard to miss. You've now gone all the way around. And ladies and gentlemen, and non-binary friends, we have a couple of spicy questions. So thank you to our donors who have begun us right from the start. And we are now back to Val.
I love
Val,
this.
are
It's
you
fine.
ready for your spicy question?
Sure. Sure.
Those outside the kingdom have nicknamed your beloved the Evil Queen. Why is that so?
Because my queen is unafraid to do what is necessary, to sully their hands, to soil it with blood and dirt and whatever is necessary to protect our people. And of course, because they know when to send me.
Oh, mercy. All right. Our second random spicy question goes to Hamnah. Are you ready for your spicy question?
I think so. Yes.
When you look at the queen, you're reminded of something extraordinary. What is it?
When I look at the queen, I am reminded of a memory of when I was young in a different land, of soaring through the skies on the back of large beasts, of traveling, of being free, of not being held back by anything. And when I look into our queen's face, that very same freedom is exactly what I see. They're not afraid to do exactly what they need to do. Nobody is holding them back, not even their title, not even their crown. What's more powerful than that? What's more extraordinary than that?
Breathtaking. It's an exhilarating thing to know our ruler that way. CJ, are you ready for our next question?
Yes.
I'm so glad. You have doubts about your love for your queen. Why is that?
Being bullied.
It's the cards, my dear. It's the cards.
It's so fine. Because it's hard to love someone so strong yet fickle. I have had many loves in my life, from the one that I saw as a child to the ones that I see now when I look out into the animals. And those were easy. I say I love you, and those either don't return them or we continue our lives together. Though, for a queen so strong and makes such hard decisions, they have yet to tell me how they feel. And I get it. You have so many, you are so busy. There's a war, yes, but is it wrong for me to be a little selfish? There are so many that love the queen. We love our queen in earnest, and yet we can't get a little bit love back. How could you? What would you do?
It's hard to love a ruler. See, we have a donation of one off the deck question. Who would you like to ask an off the deck question?
Ooh, Valiant Dorian.
I
have a
fucking knew
question.
it! I unmuted because I fucking knew it! I was like, C's gonna say my fucking name.
And what about it? What about
Listen,
it?
I'm ready. Okay, fine, I'm ready.
You were muted.
Sorry, I was
Steve.
muted. Should I give it to you now?
I mean, I don't know. How are we running this?
Well, it's you're doing it. I can ask you a question, and Val is actually next in line.
Sounds good to me.
All right. See, are you prepared for your question?
Oh, I am more than prepared. I'm ready
Oh
for
my
violence.
goodness. I'm not sure why this isn't a spicy list. You got a surprise spicy question. You shared a special night with the Queen. What made it so special?
I mean, when the queen is kidnapped by space pirates. Sorry, dragon pirates? Space dragon pirates? It is a rather special night. And yes, it was all a bit of a hoax to get the rest of the kingdom in support of her war. Of course, if she gets kidnapped, that is reason to go to war, is it not? So it was a rather interesting night, wasn't it? It was. And she is such a fine actor. I really did think for a moment that she did truly hate me, but there is something so beautiful about that, isn't there? How close hatred is to love.
Now, I don't recall. Were you the rescuer or the kidnapper?
Oh, the kidnapper, darling.
Of course. Who else could take the Queen from the midst of their own castle?
There's no one else. No one rivals me, at least not anymore.
And then I must ask you, what's the question that you would like to ask Val about our Queen?
Val, what was it that made you leave our little band of merry space dragon pirates to serve the Queen instead?
She gave me a far better offer. And in all honesty, it's only so far you can grow with a leader such as yourself. One needs to spread their wings.
I don't remember you having any wings to spread, darling.
I mean, you may be the kidnapper, but in that wonderful play, but I was the rescuer. Because no one else can match you.
No, no one can.
So many powers in the sky. Hamnah, are you ready for your question?
I need to recover from that, but yeah.
Often the Queen must make difficult decisions. How did the last big decision affect you?
Well, you see, my family had been ravaged by the space dragon pirates all my life. We were victims of their banditry, and I lost both of my parents to them as a young child. And I was taken in by the Queen's family when we were both young, when we were both children, as a kindness. And so when the queen decided to take in somebody who works for these pirates, I couldn't forgive that betrayal. Rescuer. I don't trust that. Somebody who works for the Space Dragon Pirates never reforms. I know that to be true.
So you suspect?
I do.
Mhm. It's good that you're paying attention then. CJ, are you ready for your next question?
Yes.
My dear, the cards hate you.
Oh, it's past CJ bullying future CJ.
Someone close to the queen does not approve of your love for the queen. Who and why is this so?
You all are fighting enough. I won't pick any of you for now. Uh, who else but the queen's lover? The one they happen to share their bed with at night. The one that was picked by proclamation from another family from across somewhere else. Of course, they don't approve of our love because they had the destiny of being with the queen. The rest of us have to work hard. The rest of us have to proclaim how much we love the queen in secrecy or in public. You don't get to just be handpicked for love. You work at it. And a pretty little rich boy up in a castle doesn't approve of my love for my beautiful yet fickle queen. Well, just they wait.
It seems there are many eyes on the royal bed. C, are you ready for your next question?
Is it hot in here? Yeah.
No, darling, it's definitely you.
Oh, thank you.
What kind of person were you before you met the queen? And how are you different now?
Oh, I really hate to say it, but everyone needs a redemption arc. So what? I was cruel. So what? Isn't the world cruel? Isn't isn't queendom cruel if you think about it? Aren't dragons cruel? Wyverns with their teeth and claws and spiked wings? So what when I look at her? My gaze goes a little soft. Maybe it's time. Maybe it's time for something a little bit more soft. I have been dancing on the edge of a blade for so very, very long. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of the arrows at my back. I'd like to stand proudly beside her now. As silly as it is, a pretty little dream. But I'll dream it, nonetheless.
Sounds like someone's interested in coming closer. I wonder what Hamnah's character would think should two pirates be in court. Val, are you ready for your next question?
Never, but I'm still here just the same.
Is your body ready?
Well, doing our best over here.
You all live in a residence together. What do you do to make it feel special?
My queen is one who cannot be bound to the earth. So why dwell there? I make her a palace in the heavens, close to her wyverns of choice, her breath able to catch the very clouds, the ozone of our world, so that she may gaze upon all of creation and know that that they're not just queen, but a deity amongst all living things. That's how I make it a little special. And it does help that a once former bosun of a space dragon pirate ship can take them along aloft up into the sky beyond space for, let's call it a pre-honeymoon, shall we?
It's true that before you came, we were all earthbound. No one knew the majesty of our queen, and now we can be seen for kingdoms and queendoms aloft. No
And
one can doubt her radiance.
and let them forever look upon us with envy.
That's what makes us special. Hamnah, are you ready for your next question?
I would like to move out of this house, but yes.
You are in a relationship with someone other than the queen. Who is it? And how does the queen feel about it?
The beast tamer and I formed a relationship relatively early on. It wasn't long after I had been employed by Her Majesty. Cartography, you know. The Earth has been mapped, every single inch of it, but the skies? No, there's still an unknown to the skies. And so I went where you're supposed to go to get a mount, to the stables, and who did I meet but the beast tamer themselves? There is a sort of rugged aura about them, something callous almost, but enticing all the same. I couldn't tell if it was just being around beasts so often that made them that way, or if it was their own primal nature that drew them to their employ, but whatever it was, I couldn't stay away. And so I found myself wanting to ride more and more and more. And I found myself at the stables.
Sounds like more than one beast is tamed. Well, then I imagine we should speak with CJ. Are you ready for your next question?
Ready. I'm just obsessed with the fact that we all moved into the Sky Palace.
I believe we moved into a sky palace that has a ship circling
Oh,
its tallest spires.
heathen.
Where are you all traveling to? What about this potential ally makes you nervous?
We are traveling somewhere that typically is hard to come by. You see, as we've chosen to place ourselves up into the sky, we know that no one below us can help us. So we've decided to go up to the stars. It is a journey that no queen has ever dared to take. And that makes me a little nervous. You see, her bravery tends to pay off, but her stubbornness might get the best of us. So let's hope those on the Moon Kingdom can help us.
They look for political allies. Well, it has been a long war. And since our engineer has joined us, we've managed to avoid many of the obstacles. Our cartographer can clear our way. We've made good time. Let's see. Let's see what we shall accomplish here. See, are you ready for your next question?
Of course I am, darling.
Describe the queen in 3 words, and then explain why you chose those words.
Fickle, of course. Brave, of course. But naive. Fickle, yes, she is. Well, their whims are like the wind. One lover here, a beastmaster there, a former pirate turned knight there. She's never really settled down. Understandably. Brave, yes. They have decided that war is the answer and they know how to get their way. They do not shy from battle, they do not shy from taking to the stars, but any good space pirate will tell you that up there, she will not find allies. The Moon Kingdom, well, haven't they just been looking for an excuse to find another queen? Place is haunted. You'd never want to go there. But she doesn't seem to see reason, and so must chase off all the other ships that dare to come near this flying castle. And I'll carve away through shark-infested waters until I can't anymore.
There's no denying some. Val, are you ready for your next question?
Yes, I'm ready.
I believe this question is going to elucidate your relationship on that fateful night where everything changed. You were once bitter enemies with the queen. How did that change?
Of course, we were bitter enemies. I was a pirate. Not only am I the greatest thorn at her side, but so was my once superior, who's also found their way into their graces. And that all changed when we met upon a faraway ship drifting through the sky, surrounded by a large white wyvern, the Queen's own ride. A simple arrangement. We take the Queen, I save the Queen, and an ally ship across the greatest fleet of wyvern riders this side of the galaxy. What could be better than that? A win all around.
But when
And
did the play become reality?
it became reality when I saw the icon fall off their wyvern. And I don't know what came over me. I grabbed their arm and stared upon their face. Fear, relief, appreciation, and I stared at them the entire ride back to the palace. I think that's where it changed for the both of us.
I've heard our queen has powerful eyes. Right, Hamnah? Are you ready for your next question?
Lay it on me.
You often feel as though you're the odd one out among the queen's relationships. Why is that so?
It's simple. I think I'm the only one who truly sees the pirates for who they truly are. And nobody else seems to agree with me. Not the queen themselves, of course not. They're blinded by lust. Can't be love, that's for sure. Blinded by the charm of the dragon pirates. But even the beast tamer doesn't seem to agree with me. Even they seem to think that perhaps these pirates can help us in some way. Perhaps they can offer something to this kingdom that nobody else has been able to, a way into the stars. But I say that that is a threshold, a frontier that we should not cross. We were not meant to. The skies are our domain, not to whatever lies beyond them. I think it's foolish what our queen is trying to do. And I worry that I won't be able to stop them.
That's a hard love sometimes. To be the one that wishes them safe and be the one that sees clearly. CJ, what is the hardest part about balancing your multiple relationships?
This feels correct. Well, I've spoken at length to the fickleness of our queen, but I've yet to speak on just how difficult it is to love those in conflict. See, I spend a lot of time with my beloved. They argue against the Queen's policies, and I understand, and I'll stand with them often. But one thing that makes it the most difficult is those damn pirates. Because I know they've done wrong, but anyone that can ride a wyvern, they can't be bad. I follow my heart like a beast does, and I try to balance as much as I can, but I worry that the pot will boil over soon enough.
It's good that you remember that we are at war. And the war came to our borders, and even though we lifted into the skies, it's not as if they're really gone. C, are you ready for your next question?
Absolutely.
What is the royal family like? And how do you feel about them?
Royalty's a joke. So is this war. All of this is a big, horrible joke with no punchline. Yes, she's brave. They're beautiful, powerful. Some of the most beautiful wyverns I've ever seen and care. But all of this type of power is not what I'm interested in. No. No. It's rather taciturn kind of power. A childish way of getting exactly what you want. If you really, really want to do exactly what you want, you answer to no authority. Simple. And while I do adore them, the queen is authority. But I feel like I'm charming enough to make my own impression, and perhaps soon they'll see my way.
Well, their family certainly does talk about you.
Of course, we've been a thorn in their side for how many years, but after our little play, our arrangement, we have been free to sail these skies as much as we like, and those merchant ships do get fatter and fatter as the war goes on.
Win-win.
Win-win.
Val, you ready for your
Yes.
next question?
Yes, I'm ready for violence to be enacted upon me. I'm ready. Let's go.
When does the queen look particularly radiant to you?
When we are alone, surrounded by the darkness of space with only the light of the stars to illuminate us, and all that remains is themselves and I upon the frontiers of the galaxy. That's when they're most radiant. When they are all mine.
Beautiful. Hamnah, I believe we have an off-the-deck question. Who would you like to give a question to at their turn?
See.
Excellent.
You nightmare.
In the meanwhile, are you ready for your question?
Yes, let's go.
You went on a date recently with someone else other than the queen within this group. How was it?
Do I choose violence or? Okay. The space pirate captain and I recently went on a date. It was quite strange because I didn't realize it was one at first, to be perfectly honest. I assumed that it was business. The queen had asked us to, I don't know, chart a new path onto the Moon Kingdom, find a way into their defenses, find a way through their defenses, some secret path that nobody else had ever traveled before. But over the entirety of the excursion, it felt a little different. I wasn't quite sure of it at first, but it felt like I wasn't truly with a pirate after all. I wasn't expecting their personality to be so soft sometimes. I had seen these pirates as monsters, as people who had murdered my parents, murdered my family. All of this time, I never really stopped to think that there was a person behind it. I don't really know if you can call it a date, but it felt like one.
Well, the rumors in court seem to think it was.
You are muted.
You are muted.
Sorry. CJ, are you ready for your next question?
I am.
Queen has not forgiven themselves for a misdeed they committed long ago. What was it?
Had to cough. It is something that floats around the court, not often. But we all know it to be true. How the queen became the queen. Our last ruler the Queen's father was a fool, someone incapable of getting us through these hard times. But one day, the Queen told me to unlock the stables of the wyverns, the ones closest to the courtyard. And they told me to take a break, go on a date, take a few of my partners out, and to make sure that I would be fine, whatever happens afterwards. And I trusted my queen, of course. And I did so. And a day later, I heard the reports that the wyverns had eaten the former ruler. And sometimes I look into the eyes of the queen whenever someone brings up the old policies, and I see a tinge of regret. But the queen must soldier on, right?
They've proven that they will do whatever it takes to win this war. Right, Val? See, I believe Hamnah has a question for you.
Yes,
Bring it
hello.
on. I dare you.
You are here not loyal to this kingdom, not loyal to this queen, and yet you stay for them. So my question to you is, what would it take to get you to betray the queen?
Easy. Love. A love more radiant, a love more powerful, a love stronger, more vicious, more cruel. Something familiar. Easy. I even reversed that one.
Would you like to reverse that one?
Oh, am I allowed to do that?
I don't know. Chat. Are we allowed to reverse questions? Interesting.
I love
Try
how
that out.
CJ answered in chat. Like
The people are speaking.
I want to
The
see the
people are
violence.
speaking.
It's us. We are people. We
yeah,
are
I was gonna say,
speaking.
it's literally all of you. Like,
This is the chaos I'm here for. All right.
It's us.
Here we are. You can dish it out. Let's see if you can take it. See,
ah,
would you like to ask Hamnah a question?
Of course I would. A freebie? You are too good to me, Pen. Our darling cartographer. When we were on our little date, did the look in your eyes betray your deeper feelings for the Queen? Did it betray that sense of loss? How unfair it was? How far you would be willing to go to get what you want?
yes, you saw the betrayal in my eyes because I was thrown off guard by our interaction. I was confused and so unable to hide it.
See, we'll remember that.
We'll all remember that. Val, are you ready?
After that, apparently, sure.
What is the hardest part about loving the Queen? Take that as you will.
Ooh. The hardest part about loving the Queen is knowing that her Their gaze will always move elsewhere. Do they not know that I am all they'll ever need? Warmth, love, ambition, and blade.
Who could say no?
I wish it would more often, but here we are.
I love how Val came out here and was like toxic
I
codependency.
Yes!
so toxic Val.
Giving that good old monogamous toxicity representation.
Not the monogamous toxicity.
Oh, oh, the flames. The flames.
During this our Pride Month.
Take pride. Take
I-
pride.
I thought we were enacting violence. That's what I'm doing
I
over here.
agree.
It's, yeah, no doubt.
I am here for the violence.
Queen's got all types of lovers.
Chad, please do support the violence. We're doing it for charity. Hamnah, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
What are some of the Queen's worst habits and how do they affect you?
The Queen has a habit of just lying casually, like extremely casually, about just the smallest things and then the largest things. They don't seem to be able to tell the difference between the truth and a lie. Sometimes I feel like the Queen lives in her own head, in her own reality, in which whatever she says is true simply because she says it, simply because she wills it. And that if she wills something else another moment, then she can just change what is true, change what is real. I think maybe that explains some of her fickleness. One moment she loves you, and another moment she hates you, and you're supposed to just go along with it. Why are you mad at her? This is just the truth. This is just what life is. And it affects me because we're all the recipients of it. We've all experienced this. This is why I don't ask our Queen, I don't dare to ask our Queen what exactly her true feelings are. I don't think even she knows.
It's wise and smart. And as we've heard before, hate is so close to love. CJ, are you ready?
Yes.
There we are. The Queen keeps a dangerous and powerful secret. What is it?
One night. No. One night when we were in the lab below the stables, the Queen had me bring one of the wyverns for a test. She fed the wyvern something that looked a little odd. And after a few moments, the wyverns aren't kind creatures at all. They are dangerous. There's a reason why tamers train for years to be able to have them. But after moments, the wyvern became something more dangerous. Teeth in the wrong direction, multiple wings, bigger and larger and scarier than anything we knew. And in an instant, we had to stop it. And that wyvern became a promise a promise to unleash something terrible if our queen ever is in harm's way.
That doesn't bode well when we are on the eve of war.
Not at all.
See? When did you realize you were in love with the queen?
Oh, thank God. I really thought that you were going to ask me how I got eaten by a dragon. I feel like that's in my future. There are only so many times you can go circling around somebody's window on the back of a wyvern until you catch enough glimpses to put the puzzle pieces together. There's only so many times you can deliver black market goods for some kind of, I don't know, some pet project, so to speak, that the queen has, something she refuses to talk about but needs very specific ingredients for, that only pirates can help them with. There's so many long glances that one person can take before love starts to bloom. And I know she knows her wyvern, the way it flies. She always goes up as high as she possibly can, so they know that I can see them. It was then, wasn't it? No moment in particular, just a culmination of things. Love isn't always a moment of lightning. Sometimes it's the low, rolling storm that builds for miles and miles and miles across the plains, across the skies. And that's what it was for me, wasn't it? A low, rolling storm promising rain.
Many moments. Promising rain. How appropriate. Up in the sky. Val?
Yes, indeed. Yes, it's me. That's my name.
You knew the queen before they got their title. What were they like? And how have they changed?
I remember the queen as they were young, a child, and myself too, a child of pirates begetting more pirates as we tried for decades, millennia, it feels like, to broker peace between our peoples and that of this nation. Time and time again. And they were gentler, childlike, more playful. But that's one thing that hasn't changed. But I remember that one fateful day in the throne room as we listened to our pirate elders bicker over taxation of goods and freedom of movement. And all I saw was a child lounging in a corner, holding a deck of cards, pulling one up, looking upon it, looking upon us, at me, as if they knew exactly what they were going to do.
It's interesting to see a little window into a person's past. You never know who people will turn into.
No, and you also do not know what they will mean to you when they do.
Nor do you know what they're capable of. Hamnah. The queen once broke your heart. What happened? And have you forgiven them?
It was one day before the queen went out to ride her wyvern once again, as I noticed that she had started to do more and more often. I caught her in the stables before she went. And I stopped them. I told them, enough is enough. We need to do something about these pirates that are in our grounds, in our palace grounds. We need to stop letting their ships circle our palace. It has gone too far, my love. And instead of listening to me, instead of heeding my words, instead of heeding my warning, all I got was a scar on my face from their blade, telling me to stay in my place, that I had no right to say any of these things, to stop her from doing whatever it is that she desires. I suppose if that means jumping towards her death, then fine. And that's when I knew that there was no coming back from this. That the pirates had woven their way into her heart, into her mind, and that there was no getting them out. And if that meant that our beautiful, beautiful flying kingdom was going to fall, then so be it. Let it fall.
A lot changed that day. CJ, are you ready?
Yes.
When the queen is away, how do you communicate? How do you show your love?
I'm not one that is good with words, but as a test that doubles as work and a proclamation of love, we use the younger wyverns to send messages. And sometimes I go and I get some help and I ask, I ask my beloved navigator, like, hey, does this word make sense? Like, can you help me with this? And I make sure that the words are just right to communicate what I need them to. And nestled in between the missives of war and necessity, I place little notes of my love to the queen to let them know that I keep the wyverns safe, and when they return, they have someone here for them.
You know, they keep all those little notes, don't you?
I had hoped, but it's good to know for sure.
Every single one. See, the cars love you. Before this journey, you were given the opportunity to betray this queen. Did you accept? Why or why not?
You know, it was a surprise that it came from the navigator. I wasn't expecting that. But I did ask for a crueler kind of love. And there's something in their face that is rather enchanting, isn't there? And I'm prone to my whims, as is the queen. They might not show love for me the way I want. All of this journey continues, drags onward and upward and upward and upward. I think it's time to stop this cute little power play in its tracks. What can I say? It's what I do. I wasn't meant to be soft. so there's no problem.
Odd enough, when they switched the flags on your ship, it was almost like a signal, almost like destiny, but betrayal, love in reverse. It's so close to hate. But the things that hate us most, we were flying overhead. The people we were at war, and it was day. There was no access to the Moon Kingdom. And so when we were under attack, it was almost by surprise. Almost, but not completely. You are all under attack. Who do you run to protect? We're going to go around the group, ask your one final question, and you will answer this, and we will know who is protected and who is betrayed. Val, who do you run to protect?
There's only one answer to this question. That is my queen.
Excellent. Hamnah, who do you run to protect?
The pirate captain, because without them, my betrayal would be for naught. And I can't have the queen survive this.
Deepest irony. CJ, who do you run to protect?
An easy question. The beloved navigator.
C, who do you run to protect?
Protect is a funny word. To the queen. Because I know my childhood friend, my former second in command, will be there too. And I need to ask one final question. Why couldn't you ever have loved me? That's why we're in this whole mess, isn't it?
So it seems our final moments when the queen is under attack. Valiant goes to save their queen, followed closely by the pirate captain, who is being trailed by Hamnah, who is being protected by CJ. And everyone is gathered around the queen, who survives the attack, to go on to broker their peace alliance. And that was a game of For the Queers. Thank you so much for playing our first game together. It is wonderful to celebrate 1 year. How are we feeling?
Obsessed, utterly obsessed with space pirates.
I can't
Space
believe you said
pirates.
space pirates.
You said space, and I said I'm running with this.
There
Yep.
you go.
I said space instead of dragons for some reason, and then I had to commit
And
to
then
the
you
bit.
made space dragons. So like
Space pirate dragon
Space
pirates.
SPD.
SPD?
SPD Space Pirate Dragon. Oh,
Space
SDP.
Space dragon.
Space
Dragon-
Dragon.
Space Dragon
Okay,
Pirate.
oh, whatever.
Space Dragon Pirates and our girl boss, and we're doing great.
Can't
Thank
believe
you
she
so much
left.
for tuning in. We're going to take a quick break so that we can refresh, do your bio break, stand up, get some exercise, smile, put on your face, whatever it is. Come back, and we're going to do it all over again. It's going to be a new queen, a new situation, same crew. Let's see what happens next. Thanks, everyone. And we're back. Thank you for coming back to join us for our next round of For the Queers. We are going to be doing this descended from the Queen game that was done by our own CJ. And they and I would like to tell you that this is going to be a drama that you will not forget. So if you're ready, please remember that you can make donations, and the money that we are bringing is going to the LGBTQ fund. Is that correct? And then that's the Freedom Fund, and it's going to a great cause, and it's going to cause a lot of havoc. So if you enjoy watching people scramble around to make even drama, more trouble and violence, you're in the right place. So is everybody ready to begin? Perfect. I'm going to go into the reverse order this time from our first game. So you are going to be ready to start. C, are you ready for your first question?
Oh no, here we go.
Oh no, here we go. Oh yes, here we go. At times you feel insecure about yourself. Who other than the Queen makes you feel confident?
Well, I mean, it is a rather odd position to be in. I know we're supposed to be married, the Queen and I, but I mean, we just don't know each other quite yet. So this will be good, but it's nice to have somebody with me from home. So the friend that I've brought along, they keep me grounded. They keep me centered and prepared to do what it is I need to do.
And so we begin. CJ, you love the Queen, but you are more devoted to someone else on this journey. Who is it and why? Couldn't
It's
have timed
perfect.
that
It
any better.
literally, it's perfect, easy. Well, I am most devoted to the Queen's to be, the one I came from another land with, someone I trust implicitly, and someone who I know can guide they're soon to be down the right path, because who else? No one but them, my dearest friend and beloved.
I'm glad that you then care for this Queen as much as you do her intended. Hamnah, are you ready for your first question?
Yes, I am.
You did something drastic to protect the Queen and those around you. What was it?
I killed the Queen's previous spouse. They were a traitor. I knew that this was somebody who had been plotting to kill her in order to take over full, complete control of the kingdom for quite some time. She didn't know. I made sure she didn't know. It would break her heart. So I killed them. Of course, the Queen, my dearest, doesn't understand why I did what I did, but I keep that secret. I keep it for them. Because it's better if they don't know, if they're kept in the dark. It's also better that they're alive. Because of me.
The temptation is to say, keep it secret, keep it safe. Val, are you ready for your first question?
After all of that, sure, let's go. Yep.
That's good, because your relationship with the Queen is currently strained. What happened?
Well, this is a little awkward. It's a little strange, as I was the last one informed of the Queen's engagement and arrival of future fiancé. Especially on the nights when I made a grand declaration to the court of my intentions to propose to them. It really could not have come worse timed. In fact, I believe it was moments before said fiance entered those double doors. Um, so certainly, yes, that is a word to describe our relationship currently is strained.
Mm. We chose it very politically.
Indeed, sure.
Indeed.
We'll take comfort in that.
Mhm. Well, yeah, I mean, you're still welcome in court, so it can't be that bad.
You know, this is one of the few times where wearing a veil in our courts helps a lot.
There's a reason why the courtiers are encouraged to wear them. You're not the first to. Moving on. All right. See? Are you ready for your next question?
I am ready.
What is your most memorable moment with the Queen?
Well, seeing him for the first time. I know it's silly to be such a hopeless romantic. This is a diplomatic mission, a diplomatic arrangement, of course. But, well, I didn't expect them to be so beautiful. I guess I didn't. Just the way they smile and it touch their lips to my hand. It was like a story, like a storybook. I never thought I would get that, you know? I didn't think it would be possible, but I don't know, just the way her eyes looked, shrouded, the candlelight, and well, it was then, I think. It's silly to say the first moment, but it did feel like the first moment.
It's touching, really. You didn't have such sentiment from her previous. Well, never mind. CJ, are you ready for your next question?
Of course.
What's the Queen's favorite meal? And when was the last time you ate it together?
Well, we haven't been here long, but when My Highness met with the Queen, we sat down for a dinner, one that had a beautiful spread of roasted vegetables as well as spiced meats. There was this tasty fried steak. Something that we don't have where we come from. It was very interesting. I hadn't had it before, and it was even more interesting that I was allowed to sit. That's not something that the old regime of our kingdom was allowed. I would have to eat afterwards, but that's different. Once we got here, the Queen said to me, I am important to My Highness, so that makes me important to the Queen, and allowed me to sit among them as equals. It was beautiful to be able to just enjoy that time. And those few weeks ago was something I'll never forget.
I think we all noticed that moment at the table. Hamnah, how does the Queen's status affect your relationship? And what is your status in the kingdom?
I am the Queen's, I guess, guard is the best way to put it. The knight in charge of all of the other knights here in the castle. And the queen's status, well, they rule the kingdom. They are in charge of everything that we can see, everything that we can smell, every little speck of dust that we touch. That makes it beautiful to be in love with them. But it also makes it complicated. When you're supposed to be protecting your beloved, it can be a little hard to separate work from matters of the heart, I find. But I do it pretty well, I might say. Some people in the court accuse me of having killed her spouse previously in order to take their position for myself, but I can assure you that wasn't the case. I know better than to cause my beloved grief like that. I wouldn't hurt her. Not on purpose.
Well, we knew that you were protecting her when you took out her previous spouse. But just between you and me, did you enjoy it?
Every inch that my blade went into his heart, yes.
Very good. Val, are you ready for your question?
Sure.
When you feel most alone, someone here, other than the queen, comforted you. Do you recall that time?
I do. It was swiftly after my incredible misstep in the court, before eyes familiar and unfamiliar. I never would have guessed that the one to come to my comfort and aid would be our head knight, our, well, some might whisper, assassin to the court. I didn't think that they cared or had any warmth. But as I fiddled with my spell casting focus, a tiny die in my hand, they sat by me as we sat within the courtyard where a large waterfall sits, springing new water anew. And we stood there in silence. And it was nice to not feel the gaze, a jeer, or judgment for a change.
We all treasure such moments. C, what do you carry with you to help protect this group in case something goes awry?
Well, easy. A new type of magic. One that I have made myself. I am a magic scholar, a magical inventor, I suppose. But all that means that it's a new type of magic. Something brand new to help in the war that's been brewing on this kingdom's borders. I hope that it will help people, save people. Ideally, that's my goal. And I did come here to deliver it myself. This new kind of magic.
I am impressed. I can't wait to see what happens when it works. CJ, we've had a number of donations. So I'd like to ask you first, who would you like to give an off-deck question?
Golly, golly, golly. You know, I think this particular question would be interesting to hear from Hamnah, our assassin knight.
Ask
we'll
away,
keep that-
baby, ask away.
Yes, yes. Well,
Yeah.
in just a moment, we're going to get CJ is going to have his question, and then he's going to ask the next. CJ. You remember your first interaction with the Queen. Can you describe it?
Yes. Being the right hand and high priestess of my highness, I was tasked with meeting with potential suitors, with those that would be good to connect from our kingdom to the next, to unionize them. And I had the good fortune to be able to meet the Queen and gauge them, just the type of person he is. We sat down, they knew I was coming, so they put together a nice celebration. It was one of the holidays going on within their kingdom. Something celebrating maybe nature or gods or something. I don't quite remember. It was a while ago. And I remember being struck with a sense of awe at seeing someone so beautiful, handsome, breathtaking. And I thought, oh, another pretty one, just like the rest of them. Let me make sure. Let me see if let me test their mettle. And I gave a few less than kind questions, things that would be hard, like what are your policies? How do you feel about the war? Like, what would you do if someone had a knife to your neck? And they answered them so dexterously and gave answers, because most people don't. They're honest, kind, and firm. A perfect partner for my highness. I'll never forget that.
Sometimes first impressions can be the best. Hamnah, I believe CJ has a question for you.
I do. So, Knight, I have asked my God to deliver me a revelation, and I've found that. How do you think that you will die?
Poetry. I think how I will die will be at the hands of the Queen's spouse themselves. It's only fitting, right? After what I've done.
Do you think you deserve to live after what you've done?
I do. I have no remorse whatsoever for what I've done. Why should I? I did nothing wrong. I protected our queen. I saved their life.
Well, may the gods keep your soul protected.
I think you'll find no regret in this corner for protecting our queen. Some would do anything. Hamnah, I know you just had a question, but we've had donations. Who would you give an off-deck question to?
I will give one to the poor person who declared their love to the queen in front of everyone, only to be rejected. And you're
Hello.
next.
Listen, how fortunate that Val is next. Val, I believe Hamnah has a question for you.
It seems like that, yeah.
When was the last time that you cried in front of someone else? Who was it, and what were you crying about?
The last time I cried about something was when I saw the announced fiance walk through those doors. I never knew heartbreak could happen at such a minutia of time that it would wait for the barest second to yield. But I did allow it to break fully until I was out of that room, in the comforts of a cascading waterfall and a warm assassin beside me. Yes.
I imagine that answers your question, Hamnah. Val, you've just been given a question.
Oh,
Who would you like to ask an off-deck question to?
I would love to pose a question to our to-be ruler, the fiance of our queen themselves, certainly.
Well, certainly. Please. See, I believe Val has a question for you.
Of course, anything. I'm an open book.
See, I am my position here is that of a diviner of sorts. I play with cards and divine the will of the energies of our universe for our kingdom. And I wonder about this substantial amount of work that you've been putting into your magical research as of late, and I want to know if you have thought through the deep chaotic ramifications of your magics that you've brought upon our land.
Of course not. No, no. I mean, I would probably answer yes, but in all honesty, this is brand new. I was still working on it on the way here. I don't. It hasn't exactly gone through test runs, but it's the foundation is solid. The theory is there, and I'm sure that the queen would never misuse it. It's to protect people. It's to protect people. That's what it's for, and it'll do that. The theory is good. The magic is as it should be, and I have the utmost faith that this it'll help people. The chaotic nature of magic is highly debatable, truly. I really think that this can be good for everyone. I know it will be. And you may talk of divination and seeing the patterns and things, but so can I. It's just a little bit more clear, the way that I think of things.
Lovely. Before we go on to our next question, I wanted to thank everybody that we have hit our goal. And we are so excited. Thank you so much. This is just the beginning, and you've made a huge difference to people in the real world, but also to us here at the table. So thank you. Let the chaos reign. Getting back into our story. I believe we're with CJ. Excellent.
Does he ask me a question or no? Wait, did that already happen?
We have one more
We have
off-deck
one more.
question that
Gotcha.
Which is
C
for
gets
C.
to ask.
C gets to ask one more
Oh,
off-deck
well,
question.
fancy that. I really was hoping to ask CJ a question.
Oh,
Excellent. Well, luckily, CJ, I believe C has a question for you.
Well, what did you give up to be here? I can see that, the expression, hiding just behind your eyes. I know something's wrong. We've been friends our whole lives. You can tell me. What did you leave behind to be with me?
I, being the high priestess all of my life, was trained to wield divine magic. One that is to be used for the royal family, your family, as you know, to protect those descended from the Celestials. There is a staff that the high priestess must carry, the one that channels our magic, the one that allows me to commune with our gods. And my family was adamant about making sure that the head of the family keeps the staff. And unfortunately, the head of the family cannot be away at another kingdom. So I can no longer commune with my gods, but I am okay with being in the presence of mortal divinity such as yourself. I am devoted to you, my highness.
Question answered.
I'm so glad I don't have to go next.
If we can never take a deep breath right there. Okay. Hamnah, are you ready for a question?
I suppose I am.
All right. You made a grave mistake while on this journey, and the queen is disappointed with you. What happened?
With everybody looking at me and telling me that what I did was wrong, treasonous even. Well, it's a little hard to see friends around every corner, isn't it? It's easy to see those shadows as stalking, as opposed to simply approaching. And, well, one night, as I was patrolling the halls of the castle as I always do, I stood outside of our queen's chambers, guarding them. And somebody was approaching from around the corner, very quiet, almost like a mouse. I thought, surely nobody walks like that unless they have ill intention. Right? And so I pulled out my blade, ready to protect the queen should anybody be ready to hurt them. And who should be at the end of that blade but the queen's spouse, her current spouse. I didn't hurt them, but I was close. And the queen happened to open her doors to her bedchambers just at that moment. And, well, they don't quite trust me the same anymore.
That is why. Whew. Well, are you ready for your question?
After the aftermath of yet a second regicide, sure. Why not?
Great, because evidently I've heard that you've recently fallen for another. Who are they? And how do they make you feel special?
God, when you put it like that, you make me sound like I fall so easily for people. I That's not the case. I just think that when you share an intimate moment with someone and they see every vulnerability you have, past every veil you put on, you just have to fall, don't you? And the knight is wonderful and kind, and I do not understand all of this cloaks and daggers that everyone seems to be putting on about them, but they are kind and strong and understand what truly is at stake and loyal to a fault. So of course it's them. I only wish I could protect them more from the chattering and whispers of rumors in dark hallways. But what am I gonna say? the foolish the foolish lover boy defends the double regicide assassin. No, that can only go so well.
Every storybook, every tale, every dream of fantasy that anyone has ever read sounds the same. We'll see. See, how does this group help affirm aspects of your identity that may not always be apparent?
Well, I mean, when you find a dagger plunged halfway into your chest, I mean, well, funny how those things happen. Although it does kind of finalize and confirm the fact that I guess I am a god. It didn't kill me. It can't kill me. Not a blade like that. Not an attack like that. Regicide, I suppose, is a strong word. I wish the court would stop saying it, but it does make me feel rather divine, I suppose. That, well, and of course, the high priestess is always a comfort, and, well, like I said, divinity is such a fine and fickle thing. But the way the queen looks at me, the way all of them look at me, it does, I suppose, make me feel like maybe I could be an angel. Maybe I could help them. You know?
You were chosen to be our queen's second. And it wasn't by accident. CJ, we have had another donation. Who would you like to give an off-deck question to?
Ooh, I want to give it to our lover boy.
Violence upon me. Okay.
Well, we will look forward to when that happens. And in the meantime, CJ, I believe we also had enough of a donation for one random spicy question.
Shook. Yes.
And that question is, what secrets have you not shared with the rest of your group? Spill.
That the high priestess is one with multiple jobs. I am to guide my highness and the queen now along the path of righteousness to make sure that they do not stray. And yes, it's true. I've given up my my scepter, my commune with the divines, to stay in the presence of, well, my divine. But with that responsibility, my family knows that there's something that we must always keep with us, one that the true head of the household, must always keep with them, no matter where they go. The scepter stays, but the dagger remains. I have in my possession a dagger that kills those of celestial origin. And as long as the Queen and my Highness remain down the right path, I will never have to use it, and I will pass it down to my children.
Oh, my. How the wheels turn. Hamnah, would you like a question?
Always.
You almost lost everything when you decided to be with the Queen. What did you lose in the process?
I lost any sense of freedom, any sense of any right to love, really and truly. As part of the Queen's Guard, I have forsaken any and all relationships to be there for her, to protect them from all who might want to harm them. And it means that I can never be with her. It means that I can never be with anyone. It means that I can never be with the lover who sat with me by a waterfall, who was so sweet, so soft. I sat there with them and I wanted our hands to meet, but I couldn't. I can't. And I won't. For our Queen. I know my place. I know my duties. I won't waver.
It's both noble and beautiful and tragic. Val,
Yes?
I believe CJ has a question for you.
Sure. You want to throw a third rejection my way? These things usually come in three.
No!
That wasn't a rejection. I love you, but I can't be with you.
This is some beer Zara nonsense that's happening in this chat right now. Yes, CJ, I'm ready for you.
What would you give up to be with the one that you love the most? And who do you love the most?
Surely you mean what I've already given up. I know my beloved's duties, and I know that once they have chosen a path, nothing can stray them far from it. I mean, the judgment of the court twofold. Now, a monarch hasn't wavered them. So I will do the next best thing to protect them. They must, that's the most important thing to them, is to be alive and able to protect our queen. And I will not let them meet any harm or hurdle that stops them from doing that. So I will become a beast. That I need to be.
How unholy.
The gods cannot cage love. That is something they never held power over. Anyway.
I don't think I've ever been happier to say these words. Val, there was one other off-deck question. Would you like to ask someone an off-deck question?
Everyone is already gone. I already asked C a question, so C, you're safe for now.
There
Before
is no
Pe-
safety here.
There's no
There's no
safety.
safety here. No.
Your lover or your new enemy?
God killer.
Hamnah, when did you start seeing me change? And how did you feel about it?
Can I answer this now, or do I have to wait until my turn?
I don't wait. I don't want to wait. I want to hear it. I want to hear it now.
Okay. I saw the change first when it was such a subtle shift. First in your eyes. You had been so forlorn for so long. But then I saw you one day and all of that was gone. There was a steely reserve in your eyes, a sort of ferocity that I had never seen. I also noticed it in the way you walked. Chest out, shoulders down. Confidence that you had never shown before. I noticed it in the way that you now carry a weapon, a blade of your own. I had never seen you with one before. I didn't even know you could wield one, to be perfectly honest. But you had one, and you've never parted with it since. I felt it in the way you grabbed my hand when no one was around, throwing caution to the wind. Subtle things, little things, things nobody else would notice, I don't think. And I would be lying if I said that this didn't excite me in some way. There's just something so raw, so primal in the way you've changed, and it's getting harder and harder every day to keep my oath to my queen.
I'm hearing crumbling walls and little bricks falling. But maybe it's just me. See, would you like a question?
Yeah, yes, please.
You've recently developed a special connection with someone other than the Queen. Who is it?
It's funny. I really didn't expect the I suppose spurned lover of the queen to come to me asking questions about my magic and the machines that I had brought and the divinity that, lives within. And I was surprised. They had many, many questions, and it was nice to talk to somebody who seems to understand what it's like to love. And of course I don't I don't fault them for what happened in the throne room the day I arrived. It's, well, I mean, the queen, he's beautiful, and anyway, it's nice to get to work with someone again on magic, on new questions I never thought would be possible, new kinds of power. This person seems to have some kind of interest in power beyond the gods? Power to protect people, just like me, just like how I wanted. And it's been nice to get to make a new friend here, even when I wasn't expecting. Not nearly. Played myself.
It's amazing. It's amazing. CJ.
You're gonna hurt my highness. I'm coming for you, monster. But yes, go on.
Yes, please do go on. No, that's fine. You are infamous within the kingdom. Why? Why is this so?
It is because that name comes from where we once came. You see, my highness was always someone who is kind and nice and loves to use their magic for the good of the people. What I think people fail to understand, and honestly, something that I appreciate within that knight, because they understand this as well, is that when you are the right hand of royalty, that also means that you are the cruel hand. I am infamous because I am not afraid to use my magic to do away with problems, to wipe away the dregs that stand in the way. I have sundered ships. I have turned things to ash. I am the reason why a portion of forests die. The High Priestess is also known as the High Terror. And that is just something that people need to understand.
The way that you get loyalty is out of respect, out of love, or out of fear.
Exactly.
I think our queen understands that as well. Hamnah. Queen has struck fear into your heart. What happened to cause this?
I am a person of the sword, martial combat, battlefields, war. That's what I know best. Matters of the flesh, that's how I protect. But our queen, he dabbles in magic and things I don't quite understand. And especially with their new spouse, it seems that this has only gotten more intense, more obsessive, I think. Really. Their experiments together. I was shown one of them, and it scared me. The spouse says that there's something divine at work behind this magic, but I don't know that I see divinity in it so much as wickedness, something evil lurking behind it. It's dangerous, this magic. But our queen insists on using it. Our queen insists that this is how we protect our people, that this is what we need to become bigger and better and brighter, but I don't think so. I worry that our queen and our spouse are both dabbling in things that they don't comprehend, things that they can't control, and that it will overtake us all. My job is to protect the queen, but how do I protect them from sacrilege?
If anyone can, it would be you. Val, Are you ready for
Mhm.
your next question?
Certainly.
The Queen's Land is not your homeland. Where are you from? And what made you stay?
I'm from somewhere quite unconventional. Our land is touched by celestials, blessed, and some compare it to stepping upon the heavens itself when you step upon the Queen's land. I came from the opposite, a sundered land, a shunned land. But I was gifted. I was gifted in my divination magics. I was very skilled at listening to voices of the primality of our world. Of, I mean, some might say, perhaps I'm not necessarily divinely inspired, but I'm inspired nonetheless. And our queen saw value in that, to not just sit in a cacophony of dogma and sycophants, but to listen to an outside perspective, a perspective that isn't entirely holy and of what their experience is, more grounded.
And so you stay.
I do. I could do something here. I can help here.
I will not remind you what good intentions pave. See, are you ready for another question?
Absolutely.
The Queen made a promise to you before this journey. What was it? And will she actually fulfill it?
Well, the promise of marriage, of course, is simple but complicated. When you, well, love, when it blooms in divinity, in the celestial, I'll have to share it. If we truly become intertwined, if our souls become intertwined, that divinity will start to leak, I suppose. Start to bleed into each other. Like a river that runs both ways. And I trust her. With that? With my magic. And I know that they would never betray me. We think alike. We're doing this to protect this world. That's what I was made to do. Protect the world. And I was promised that this part of my journey would take me towards that goal. And I know it to be true. What, Hamnah?
I am so squinty-eyed sus on that whole thing.
I don't know what you mean.
I know what you're talking about. CJ, are you ready for your
Hello.
question?
I am.
Great. When you return to the kingdom, there is a problem that only you can solve. What is it? And why are you the only person that can solve it?
Well, the the church of this kingdom, I've been keeping eyes on it. It seems recently that they've been corrupted by something, that their divine magics are dabbling in something more monstrous, that some of the priests are being fed nonsense. They're all claiming that they will go beyond the gods and use new magics or transform themselves into monsters. I've seen it. I've had to slay one. There's an epidemic going on in this land, and only someone that has held such a tight regime, a holy one, if you will, in my last land, like myself, can bring a fist down on whatever unholy madness is going on here. And I will find the source and I will end it.
That is when we return. And in the meanwhile, you will use your power to protect all those on this journey. Well, some on this journey. Hamnah? Would you give your life for the Queen? And would she want you to?
The answer is simple. Yes, and yes.
Not a moment's hesitation.
It's my job. It's what I'm here to do.
But is it your heart?
I don't have an answer for that.
Anyone else I can ask that. And you're the only one who knows. And if you choose not to answer, no one will force you. Val.
I'm here.
You live in a residence together. What do you do to make it feel special?
I have said this happened last year too. We had one question that came back to me twice.
I will remind you that while always you can answer questions because we see that we have a talented cast here, you can always give your question to another.
Priestess, why don't you answer this question? It seems that you would have strong opinions on how our home and residence should look like.
Well, yes, of course, I have strong opinions on how our home looks like. A lot of us live in portions of the palace, of course, in smaller subsects, either, out in gardens or just there's wide variety. But I love to get up on Sunday mornings and, well, when we were back at home, and clean the whole house and make sure that everyone has a nice scripture on their door that reminds me of them, of home. To my beautiful highness, I make sure that they get the ones that remind me of the sun, of reverence. To the knight, I always make sure that they understand that if no one else understands their devotion, that I do. And to our wonderful scholar, I make sure to know that they should never stop pushing forward with their innovations, that they were put on this earth from the heavens above to keep us going.
So Val, may I ask you a question?
Yes, you may. Yeah.
You are still hurt by something the queen did to you. What was it, and what stops you from forgiving?
Our relationship is strained, certainly, but I am still a member of the Queen's court. I am still a rational and a voice that should be heeded. And I went to them, you see. I went to them to speak about these rumors that abound about our knight. We cannot allow such slander to continue. We can't. A slander upon our protectors is a slander upon ourselves. Truly, it is shameless behavior. It should not be allowed in our courts. Certainly not. And they shut me down. They shoved me so hard to the ground that my divine magical focus shattered. This stone cube that I've brought from my homeland, it shattered. I can no longer divine. All decisions I make from then on out are conjecture and from the heart. And don't I don't think, yes, I'm upset about them for shattering that, and I cannot forgive them for that, but more, I cannot forgive them for not hearing me out and understanding how important this is to me. I don't think I can.
When one loses their voice, we lose everything. When no one can hear us, what's the use of speaking?
All that is left is just to be.
All that is left. See, what does the queen do that lets you know that they love you?
Intertwining our souls. Of course. It's a slow process. I didn't think it would hurt so bad. I didn't. But I know this will allow for this kingdom to be protected. The magic leaching out, it's fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. Fine. This is Godhead? No? I've never felt pain before, but mortals feel it. I can feel it too. I can bear it for one moment. If it means that this war ends and more people are protected, I can bear it for one more moment, one more moment, one more moment. I can. This is creating a new world is love. Inventing, magic, divining, it's love, right? That's what the stories say. That's what the priests say. That's right. That's right. That's right. I'm okay.
Just had a donation. That brings us a random spicy question. And let me tell you, we are so close to another goal. Let's see if we can turn it up. CJ.
I'm ready.
What secrets have you not shared with the rest of your group?
I was sending this one because I answered it last time. The My Highness or the Knight? I'm very, very curious at what My Highness, the Divine, is keeping from everyone else.
Do you need the question repeated?
No, I got it.
Okay. Because I can't wait to hear the answer.
The longer I'm here, in this place, in this world, the longer that I'm around these people, this intertwining of souls, well, the more I begin to doubt, the more I begin to doubt. Why leave the scepter? Why these long, odd glances? Why the dagger plunged down to my sternum that I can't even feel? And now I feel pain. Now I feel pain. What am I hiding? What secrets do I keep? How am I even supposed to know? When this whole life has been charted out for me. When my pain and my love is scripted by the forces of godhood. That which I didn't ever choose, although I am the godhood in question. Why didn't I choose when I could and could not feel pain? I am beginning to doubt. I am beginning to doubt. Does that answer your question, CJ?
Of course, My Highness.
CJ, how do you deal with your jealousy? What keeps you feeling secure in your relationships?
This feels apt.
The cards do not lie.
Cards
They
want to
do
tell a
not lie.
story. It is, I will admit, at times it is hard seeing My Highness with another, though they are unbelievably capable. I do feel a bit of jealousy that I am not the one to end up at the end of it all. But that is okay. Because I take comfort in the fact that no one has a job like me. That though My Highness spends his nights by the Queen, that the only person who truly has My Highness's life in their hands is me. With this dagger, it keeps me secure because I know that I'm special in that way, whether My Highness knows it or not.
They may be the divine, but you are the chosen one. Hamnah, when you look at the Queen, you are reminded of something extraordinary. What is it?
Man, these cards really said whoever got them first gets them again. I am going to pass this over to our lovely scorned lover turned beast.
Okay, may I hear the question one more time?
Certainly. When you look at the queen, you are reminded of something extraordinary. What is it?
I am reminded of extraordinary foolishness. What divine or ruler's right mind would spurn loyalty, unquestioning loyalty? What spouse and lover would look upon their lover who is very clearly in pain? Am I the only one seeing this? And ignore it? What ruler ignores the earnest word of one of their ministers? What ruler and potential ally ignores a storm brewing within our very halls? In the form of the priestess? As each day grows, I am reminded of foolishness. But I am the only counsel that all these people will keep. So I will play my roles. I will.
You are muted.
Just a question. When do you think you're going to swap one role for the other?
When I have to, of course, when the situation calls for it, right?
No. There are so many looking for a sign. See. Those outside of the kingdom
does Hamnah
have
get a question?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I didn't even notice. I was just out here vibing.
Kids gone around.
No, I need to commit violence against you as well, my friend.
No,
you get violence too.
That is only fair. That is only fair. Well, those outside of the kingdom have nicknamed your beloved the Evil Queen. Why is this so?
Because our queen has made it apparent that he endeavors to ascend to godhood, to something beyond godhood. It was a shock when they brought everyone to the throne room, to the court, to make an announcement. We all thought, surely something must be wrong with the war. Surely maybe we need to change our battle tactics. It was urgent, the utmost importance. Imagine my surprise in seeing the queen standing up there, disheveled, raving, walking, pacing back and forth, talking about divinity and light and magic. After that, the rumors started. After that, she started to use her magic in ways that I would have never thought possible. Not for our queen, not for somebody who was so ready to protect the kingdom. And I worry that they think that they really are protecting the kingdom, I mean. And instead, they stand there, the arbiter of goodness, the arbiter of morality, judging who is right and who is wrong, and choosing to be judge, jury, and executioner all in one fell swoop. This is wrong. And I think people are right to call them the evil queen. This is not godhood. It's blasphemy.
There's a very thin line between godhood and being touched by gods. Do you know that expression? To be
Can't
touched
say
by
I have.
God means that you're mad. You've gone mad. Where are we? I believe we're at C now. Excellent. Before this journey, you were given an opportunity to betray the queen. Did you accept? Why or why not? The cards love you people. They just want to keep coming back for more.
Experiments are funny things. I had always wondered what would happen if a mortal tried to weave their soul to the divine. It's a curious thing. Betrayal is a funny word for it. It was a passing curiosity, really. Perhaps I found myself in too deep. But the passing curiosity was quite real, and if they died, well, that would certainly be one theory confirmed. I had a sneaking suspicion. That's why I said I didn't think I could ever feel love. It's because the divinity eats away at you. Eventually. Until you're just bones. I'll let them continue. Finish out the experiment. See what drives the queen. See how far they get. Even though I feel the pain in my own bones. Some answers are worth knowing, don't you think? You're muted, my
So many
dear
times
storyteller.
Yes, sorry. I was to say, so many times we ask, could we? So rarely do we ask, should we? CJ. The queen once broke your heart. What happened? And have you forgiven them?
I am but a mortal, one that follows their highness wherever I need to go. And I've read the texts before, the scriptures. They say that there is a cost to sharing divinity, that it hurts, but I didn't expect to see my highness in so much pain. So for a while, I bit my tongue. I held out. I said that this is what I've been taught. This is what's meant to be. But I faltered. And I went to the queen to plead that maybe we do something. Maybe we lessen the time between intervals of sharing the soul. And the queen denounced me. They said, no, the trial must go on. We must keep sharing. And that's when I knew that the person that I entrusted my highness with could not fully be trusted. And that broke my heart, not because the queen is someone I didn't think they were, but because I made the mistake of letting someone else get too close. to my most precious person.
It's amazing what the heart will do or doesn't do, as the case may be. Hamnah, you knew the queen before they got their title. What were they like, and how have they changed?
Before the queen became the queen, they were more cautious, less impulsive. They still remember it. They were very, very studious when they were younger, if you can imagine that from our queen. They loved to peruse the bookshelves of the royal library, taking in every single piece of knowledge that they could, everything. It was as if it was food for them. Like they could never be satiated, always taking in everything. I loved that about them. I loved their curiosity. I loved their thirst for information. I suppose I should have seen this coming. They've changed in that now they don't seem to know where to stop. Before, they were able to take everything in and weigh it. Pros and cons. What to do, what not to do. Where the limits are. They seem to have forgotten that, I think. Lost in whatever fantasies he has. Fantasies that perhaps their spouse put in their head? I'm not quite sure. I just know that ever since the new spouse came into our land, was wed to our queen, since then he's been different. Since then he's been changed. And not for the better.
It's hard to watch someone change before your eyes. And not for the better. Val, the queen, the queen keeps a dangerous and powerful secret, and only you know it. What is it?
There are only 3 people privy to the studies of our new monarch. Truly privy. Myself, the monarch in question, and the queen. The queen holds an immense amount of knowledge and surprisingly skill in this area of magic. And the deadliest secret that they have is that they have been fiddling with a lot of the tonics. And I am afraid at how much playing around they've been doing and what they could unleash with it.
I think you might suspect very well what they could unleash with it.
Hopefully, I'm the only one that wields it, though.
Do you believe her spouse knows?
I pray they do. That perhaps some sanity might return to this. I knew what I was getting into. I don't think the queen does.
It is said that when they share souls to birth a new world, they come closer something of themselves, traded for something of another's, to become one? Is it that her attended sanity can help the queen, or is the queen's madness affecting the spouse? What have we put on our rulers? Who have we put in charge? Because as you remember, we are traveling through war-torn lands. We are on our way to broker for peace. But on our travels, you see, we have been struck by the divine within our ranks. And yet, when we walk forward one morning, it all plunges into darkness, a black, crackling light, and we are all under attack. My friends, we are all under attack. Who do you run to protect? We'll be beginning with C and go around with this final question, and then we will know the answer to our story. C, we are under attack. Who do you run to protect?
No one. Let them all die.
CJ, who do you run to protect?
Well, it's not really a run, because I'm already standing next to who I need to protect. I never left their side from the beginning.
Hamnah, who do you run to protect?
I protect our queen, and the way that I do so is by killing their spouse.
Hold that thought. Val, who do you run to protect?
There's only one person I'm interested in protecting. The only person that I was willing to defile my whole body, my soul, to protect. My knight. And I will be the beast to do so.
So before we end our story and I paint our final picture, can I just ask our crew to explain to me, where is our queen during this little last
Yeah,
scene?
literally.
Because as far as I can tell, the queen is standing under attack. And what happens is the knight charges her spouse, sword drawn, to plunge into the divine breast to save their queen. While the priestess, holding a knife that can kill gods, stands ready to defend them and raises it against the knight. But before they could blow that final cut, a giant beast arrives in the midst of it all claws and teeth and rending.
I think a better question is, who does Val go after?
You have the blade to my beloved. If they are to succeed in what they do, which is why I did everything that I did, I will charge you, and I will take the blade that rends celestials so that you may rend a fiend.
Bodily slamming into you with teeth, unexpectedly from the right, your arm pushed aside under gore and bone. And the knight, their blade finds true, slaying thee. And I believe Over the bodies and the blood, the only one standing is the knight, whose back is to the queen, who no one protected, and whose body lies dying. And I believe that is our end of For the Queers.
The knight was the only one left.
And what? What did you do to me?
The irony.
Ah!
Which I believe now fulfills the royal rumors that the knight has been killing
It comes full
spouses
circle.
to take their place.
We love a Bollywood like self-fulfilling
Regicide.
prophecy. Let's go.
Thank you for our Shakespearean drama.
Thank
Thank you very much for tuning with us. And please
Thank
come
you all
down.
so much. Yes, thank you all so much for coming and for watching our very chaotic games of For the Queers. Our 1-year anniversary of our For the Queen game from last year. Thank you all so much for all of your donations for the LGBTQ Freedom Fund. That is all going to go to help queer people be bailed out of jail and for paying their immigration bonds, and we love you all so much for doing that. Before I sort of do the little spiel for forward, I'm going to let the rest of these lovely folks introduce themselves, and we'll go in the same order or whatever order you want. Val, start.
I'll stick to the same order. Hi everyone, I'm Valiant Dorian. I use he, him, his pronouns. You can find me all around the internet at Valiant Dorian or at Also Spirit Bear. Please enjoy that lovely treasure hunt I just sent you on. I'm a Twitch variety streamer as well as an actual play performer. And on the topic of actual play performing, I also GM. So like Val GM Real. And in fact, I'll be teaming up with GM Dax for a charity stream benefiting the Lupus Foundation of America. Our player signups are now live. So if you would like to be GM'd by Dax and I in a game of a mini campaign of Quest, please go ahead and sign up. The info should be on my Twitter page. So hope to see you all there. And I'm going to pass introductions over to C.
The unhinged charisma of this group. Thank you all 1 year later. This has been an absolute pleasure. Hello, everyone. My name is C. I use they, them pronouns. I am a digital artist, tabletop streamer and performer, dramaturg, wearer of many hats. You can find me making very trans, very gay art on the internet at PieSharpArt. You can also find me weekly on Saturdays at 8 p.m. US Eastern Time. On Transplanar RPG, you know what it is at this point. It's an all-transgender person of color led 100% homebrew D&D 5th edition actual play live stream set in a non-colonial anti-anarchist world of Antake. Hamnah is in it. Val is in it. We need to get CJ on as a guest. So by the way, just heartyou.com. Thank you, Hamnah, for putting this all together. That has been me. Catch me on my Twitter talking about the myriad of other things that I'm doing this summer. And I'll pass things over to Pen.
Thank you. I am +1 Pen of Smiting, your cartoon bard, and I do cartooning of those RPG moments that you can't believe haven't at the table. I do GMing. I am a TTRPG player and actress and love to join people like this, and especially to raise money for a good cause. I'm an author, game designer, and available to make things happen for heroes like you. And I want to pass this over to CJ. That's +1 Pen of Smiting on all the socials. She, they pronouns. Take it away, CJ.
God, +1 Pen of Smiting is such a good name. Hi everyone, I am CJ. I'm the creator of this very gay game. Again, it's a descendant from the Queen game. So if you've ever played For the Queen, this one is slightly different, more gay. That's really the change of the game. That's it. If you like this game and you think I'm fun and cool, you can find me on Twitter at Scholastic Dragon. That's Scholastic like the book fair, dragon like the mythical creature. Drop the O on dragon. Buy my games. This game's really cool. If you like gay games, I have another game called Matelotage, or however you pronounce it, because I'm not going to tell you how to pronounce it. It's French, where you get to play gay pirates. It's based on Our Flag Means Death. And I have a whole bevy of other games, because one time I made 8 games in 1 month. Don't ask me about it. Yeah. And if you ever want to be GM'd by me, I'm going to be start playing things at the end of this month. So be on the lookout. I guess that means I'm passing it to Hamnah.
Yes, go buy CJ's games. They're so good. They're so gay and so good. Also, CJ, please sleep. Hello, everybody. My name is Hamnah, and I use any and all pronouns, and I am a TTRPG performer. You can find me on Twitter at @shahid_, where I talk about all of the different projects that I'm a part of. I play exclusively queer disasters who make bad decisions. So if morally gray gayness is your morally gay grayness, whatever. If that's your thing, you should come follow me on Twitter because I'm in a lot of different games right now. And that is all of us. In terms of Friends Who Rolled Dice, Friends Who Rolled Dice has a lot of cool content coming up in the following weeks. On Monday, they're going to be doing Mind and the Martyr, which is going to continue a very cool D&D AP that you should watch. And next week, continuing on the Pride charity events, they're going to be playing Thirsty Sword Lesbians. Yay! So definitely come check out Friends Who Roll Dice for all of their content going forward. And apparently you should keep an eye out on their Twitter tomorrow for something. I am not privy to what this information is, but apparently something's happening on Twitter tomorrow. Keep an eye out. But yeah, that has been us. Thank you all so much for coming and for watching and donating. We love you all. Follow all of these wonderful people. Buy CJ's game. And we will see you all next time. Next year, maybe? Who knows?